Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration. My name is Brad. My constitutional rights are violated, have been violated, and continue to be violated. So our first point of address today is tax day. It is April 15th. So this is a formal acknowledgement. Again, as I just stated, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution is violated. I have a right to my writings and discoveries. The entirety, it is a derivation. My portfolio of scientific research is profound. I'm not going to sit here and try to reconvince you of something. It is documented right here on this channel. All of the work that is present, with the core being the From Rhythm to Algorithm series, which is a derivation of very literally everything. And so this is a formal acknowledgement over the past calendar year. Again, I'm not auditing myself. I mean, I might miss a transaction, but again, I don't have constitutional rights. I've never had income. And so the actual legal, I guess, or at least certainly not taxable income. I've never been able to build wealth or even have, again, a stable life because of criminal activity, primarily perpetrated by the government itself. So over the past calendar year, I sold a house and sold probably about $60,000 worth of Bitcoin, but truly the only appreciative asset or any level of income I've ever had is one Bitcoin transaction, equating to about $600,000, and the total losses that I've endured is, again, there's no way to put a realistic number on it, so I will just say $100 million just as, again, a number that's substantially past what would be tax obligated, as well as not even close to the actual dollar figure of the damages I have incurred. Primarily in the same calendar year, grave bodily harm because of the restrictions of that rights. I had hepatitis, or still do, fatty liver, stage 2. But we'll go over my blood work, but I'm very literally deprived of my constitutional rights, my humanitarian rights, or Declaration of Human Rights, and it's ruined my life, it's ruined my health. And so formal acknowledgement of any sort of transaction, complete denial of any sort of tax obligation. If you're watching this video and you've been referred to this video, that is why. We'll continue on here for a bit for current events and talking points, but this is a formal acknowledgement that my rights are violated. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8 of the United States Constitution, which has been cited in this series every single video, as well as the Fifth Amendment, which guarantees you just compensation of private use or private property used for public use. I can very literally watch people talk about my research directly without mentioning me by name publicly, and I have so for 10 years. And so if you're a part of the IRS or any sort of legal apparatus and you've been referred to this video, that is the point, is to deny all tax obligation and to acknowledge whatever transaction that caused you to contact me is valid, but open to a full audit. But I'm sitting here like, hey guys, what about the United States Constitution? What about the Constitution? What about the Constitution? Which laws matter? Which brings me to another point, and so now that's just the legal acknowledgement, I guess. But moving on to current events and talking points. First one being my alcohol partner. Again, Robert Hemphill, a personal injury attorney out of Florida. So I'm sure, again, I don't know the guy personally, but I'm guessing he's a father. I'm guessing he votes Republican. And so he emails me today this partnership, tax form. And again, we've never had any revenue. We never had a product. Again, we literally do not have CBD enriched alcohol because of the violation of the discovery. Right? I'm the most accomplished scientist in history and profound in tremendous fashion. All of my proofing, discovery, research is restricted from public use. It is illegal. Again, not prescribing cannabis oil directly causes more death and destruction than anything else on the planet. And so you live at a point or in a time when it's just like, here's the law. There's no point for me to try to convince you of anything scientifically because you literally don't know what proof is and you just blurt out no. And the overall behavior of the species is like, that's acceptable and normal. And it's very literally just like, what the fuck do you do when there are no laws? Laws that are not enforced are not laws. And so, again, it's interesting to see from my alcohol partner, he sends me this email like, here's your tax form again, because it's April 15th and, he's the lawyer and we're going to do things correctly. And I send him he's like, here's my constitutional rights. We do not have a product because this is the violation. Again, when someone breaks into your house, you don't say, hey man, can I have my stuff back? You have them fucking arrested. And so you don't ask the FDA for an approval of something that's scientifically proven when people literally demonstrably don't know what science is, don't know what math is, don't know what proof is, are hilariously hypocritical in their personal lives, and every action out of their body has been some sort of competition, and now it's in the context of careers. And so if you're not a scientist, and at this point, I am the only scientist, like provably. And so, but it's just so weird because I'm still in this dichotomy of like talking to the entire world leaders, and then people in my personal life, this alcohol partner is like, you know, hey man, don't forget to file your taxes or some shit. And again, it's profound. I don't even want to say emotional, like, oh, I'm emotional, but like psychological distress caused by, again, I don't have access to social structures. I want to be able to pay taxes, but to pay taxes, I have to have income. And now to the actual definition of income, when you say taxable income, to me, income is like a comfortable level above quality of just like your basic necessities. And then like income would, like anything that would be taxable income would be, again, a good grip, a good substantial jump away from basic necessity. And so more to a economic legal point, but this is all kind of a legal point. But point being is it's just my alcohol partner, because this is documenting this reputation destruction. Hey man, I'm the most accomplished scientist ever. Here's literally the proof. I don't even have to convince you. You can just go watch me walk you through the analytical process of how words work and why it matters, literally. But of course, again, it's like these are the people that have interacted with me enough to be like, hey, there's value here. Here is property. But then it's still this brick wall of like societal narrative of, again, hey man, my constitutional rights are violated. And then there's no way for them to like process that psychologically, causes them cognitive dissonance. I'm an American, dude. I'm a lawyer. Of course I respect the Constitution. I say that stuff to my kids every day. But then you're in the world of hypocrites, where people just point out this person says this and does this. This person says this and does this. And then they do that about each other, and then everybody's hypocritical, and there's no way to live a life. That is where I'm at. And so I got that email from my partner, again, Robert Hemphill out of Florida. Again, it's just so weird. It's like they try to be professional about the things that they think is like the right thing to do, and I'm just over here like I don't have constitutional rights. I'm sitting here watching my aging parents not understand my entire life's existence, and I've been tortured since I've been a child forming memories. And it's just like, here's the law. Somebody do the law. Here's the law. Michael DeWine, here's the law. Andrew Ginther, here's the law. Donald Trump, here is the law. Law, 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 law. But then I realized we're in law, 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 law land, and none of it matters. It's all a big fucking joke. And so a lot of talking points today. I haven't done a video on this one in a while, so we piled up. We're probably going to work through them pretty quickly. But again, a formal acknowledgement. I do not have any tax obligation to the people, to the greater intelligence apparatus that has, again, just destroyed my life. I would say make it go away. Because I just live in this constant state of psychological distress, and absolutely nobody cares. And so moving on to the talking points, but I continue to beg, truly, to whoever's watching this, I continue to beg, hands and knees, I am being tortured, and I would like it to stop. And at this point, it's just literally this awareness that I'm not going to get extorted by the government because I can't function in society. But nobody cares. Again, raise your family, fuck your wives, and then say, oh, yeah, but I'm a good person. Who cares about Brad? Who cares about the law? Who cares about society? Who cares about the community? I'm so cognitively dissonant, I can't understand that a bunch of people that competed over nothing, and now society's history is completely fucked. But it is what it is. So, back to our great, again, this Iran bullshit, Donald Trump as a joke. He is not a commander-in-chief. He does not respect the Constitution. Again, I am not a constitutionalist. I am not an American by the fact that I do not have constitutional rights. But if you are proud to be an American citizen, a citizen of the United States of America, and anything that comes out of your mouth is, we do not support, or I am an American, I support America, therefore I support the Constitution. If that is not your direct chronology, you are a nothing, go fuck yourself, which everybody is. But point being is, again, nationalism to me at any capacity is cheering for your favorite high school team. People do it, people wear their Letterman jackets, but at a level of maturity, it's just, what are you doing? And so, our not commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, continues to use the sentiment of the Republican Party, his own generational bullshit of being, I don't know, older baby boomer or younger silent generation guy. And again, you can just see it in his text. We're going to get to them in a second. We had a bunch of posts, but it's just, he's a complete abomination to the United States Constitution, if you respect that to any capacity, because to me, the Constitution is as real as Santa Claus. So, I just had one thing. Pete Hegseth, again, thanking Kid Rock on March 31st. And so just going through some of these different posts, I think I have this screenshotted on March 31st. All of the countries that can't get jet fuel because of the Strait of Hormuz, like the United Kingdom, which refused to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, I have a suggestion for you. Number 1, buy from the US, we have plenty. And number 2, build up some delayed courage, go to the Strait and just take it. You have to start learning how to fight for yourself. I mean, look at the level of this projection. The USA won't be there to help you anymore. Just like you weren't there for us. Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done. Go get it for yourself. So just breaking down the sentiment of what is presented here, right? The go take it, right? We're just go steal shit. Just go smash and grab, right? Just like Donald, is that what you tell to all of the people in downtown LA doing smash and grabs for all these teen takeovers? Do you tell them just to go and take it? Right? Take it over, right? It is what it is. Team takeover, take it over. That's what our president has just told you to do. Oh wait, sorry. Excuse me. Holy shit, that's stateside. That's our environment. So go shit in somebody else's yard. Go just throw up everywhere and just make an absolute mess in somebody else's backyard. That's maturity. That's decency. That's efficiency. I'm obviously being sarcastic. You can have no morals whatsoever. No good, no bad. Is this efficient? Does this make energy prices go better for the people in your constituency, Donald? No. No, absolutely not. And so that's strange, beyond strange, but just take it. Just take it over. Yep. Again, because sentiment is bounded by culture. What the president's saying is the same thing as the teens are saying on average, like the conceptual meaning of all of the different words. And so that was an exciting one. But, you know, the NATO's not there for the USA. It's just like, Donald, there's too much projection in inconsistency to even really respond. So now we move on to, again, some of these dates, I just have them screenshotted. I'm trying to get the actual dates, but it's all the tweets everybody's seen. And so this next one I have is, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, fast forward, no we don't, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, again, you can't even read this guy's word salad bullshit. Wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight, one of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Again, if you are not for the full impeachment of Donald Trump at this point, you do not respect the United States Constitution to any capacity whatsoever. But you guys don't. I mean, that's the hilarious part, is you guys don't anyway. And again, the concept of losing your job being the worst thing that can happen to you, throwing you in jail for the rest of life, is just like, you have to have punishments proportional to the responsibility, to the actions you cause in the world. This whole global sensation of, like, again, my country, we'll still have the countries, but that is the most ass backwards. And whenever people grow up, that will be the most, people look back in history and be like, what the fuck is this shit? Because people are too stupid to realize it just is detriment to the entire global growth, the supply chain in general. It is just net terrible all of the time. But calling for the death of a civilization, I don't even want to appeal to, like, everyone says, oh, it's so bad. Again, all of the people lying about science. It's not possible. You can't wipe out a people. Again, it's always that sufficient population number. Like, if you have like one person, you can wipe out one person, but just like, you're at a critical mass where just any sort of this genocide talk is just bonkers. Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise be to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Inshallah, Donald. Wallahi, Donald is putting out Masalam into the world. All of that peace is, again, right, we've derived peace, E-A-C-E, represented in the English alphabet. Everyone's saying the same shit. And so then obviously we have he's mocking the religion of the Iranian people, definitely. Do I see that as a big deal? No. Again, I do not live in a world where words have the potential to be offensive. And so we have we have a dog friend. We'll see how long we can keep going without a barky break, but we'll keep going on. So I actually, like, as a world leader, again, if you're killing people, again, words never matter. Words cannot be offensive. But obviously that's the false virtue signaling of the media. Oh my gosh, you have to be respectful of cultures. No, you really fucking don't. Like, again, Donald Trump is in no way a world leader. He's just like a businessman, and he has the power of a military with the power of an economy where most of the people don't vote. And so that's the reality of democracy. Yeah, but wallahi, inshallah, we shall have some peace. And I think Donald's just working on his Arabic. So then we move along. Well, this is that was a paragraph. I don't know if we're going to read that whole thing. Let's check this other one. So I guess we'll read it. Why not? I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owen, and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it is wonderful for Iran, the #1 state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common: low IQs. They're stupid people. They know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it. Everyone else knows it too. Sorry, I have tape on my phone because, again, I don't have constitutional rights. So I can't afford to live. Look at their past, look at their record. They don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're all caps nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they're going to get some clicks, in quotation, because they have the third-rate they have third-rate podcasts, all caps, or capital letters. But nobody's talking about them, and their views are the opposite of MAGA, or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. You didn't win in a landslide, most people don't vote. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN a 100% approval rating of Trump. Yeah, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but so we have some turmoil internally. And again, I say it for the 4th time this episode: if you do not support the United States Constitution, you do not support the United States. And again, then once you get past that and everyone's like, yeah. No, then you have to grow up and realize that we're all in this world together. Love is voluminous. We're all in the same space, actually, literally. And if all you care about is money, that is completely fine. You just have to be less stupid to realize that all of this bad behavior, all this immoral behavior causes less dollars. That is just a simple fact. And so that was super exciting. Just some screenshots. Again, I thought that I always think they're going to be like more... There is no thought from this guy whatsoever at all. But we had some back and forth. Now we get to Pope Leo. Again, another world leader lying about all of science. And the Catholic Church is heavily involved in the suppression of UAPs, which aren't even UFOs or UAPs, meaning unknown. Still have to make that video. Still not the content of this one. But Trump and Pope Leo are now going back and forth. So now we have a hometown boy from Chicago leading the papacy. And we have Donald Trump leading the United States of America, and everybody lying. And so obviously the Pope is saying, Jesus would never raise his sword. Again, Pope Leo, what's the difference between the Old and the New Testament? What's the difference? Well, why is there a difference at all? What is it? Why did Jesus say he was the Son of God? I mean, that sounds like a historical cuck to me. Oh, God's my daddy. Now who's your daddy, bitch? I'm like Sean Oakman. Remember? Remember the meme? When Sean Oakman is at his girlfriend's house and the girlfriend says, "Daddy, pass the butter," and then her dad reaches for it. Sean Oakman says, "Nah, she was talking to me. So I'm daddy." But actually, and so it's just like, you guys don't walk the walk. You don't do what you say you're going to do. It is that simple. Don't be a hypocrite. You're the leader of the papacy. The guy, let's just brainstorm. The guy that went into the tabernacles and flipped all the taxes because of extortion. That guy, right? Was he really a Prince of Peace if he's causing property destruction? Or maybe what is morally right and what is legally established isn't always consistent. And so that's for all those people that say Jesus would never be violent or upset anything. First of all, God was brutal, which again is a legal edifice. There is a female presence, but overall it's a law office, 100% facilitating the death penalty. Right, the fear of God, that's what that is. Jesus' awareness that he was not smarter or more comprehensive in his understanding than the edifice of what the law office of God was/is him saying the Son of God. And then on top of that, we have the church where, again, Pope Leo, are you more of a Christian or Catholic or a Pope or a follower of Christ than, what was his name, Simon Peter? The guy that denied him 3 times, that knew him in person, in real life. And the minute he was like, Pontius Pilate's like, hey, yeah, free the murderer Barabbas and let's just kill this guy who's like talking. He's done nothing wrong. Why? And the whole crowd just like, yeah, kill him, kill him, kill him. You know why? Because being moral is not normal. And so you see that highlight, and then it's like, oh, we don't care if this guy's a murderer. Let's just kill this guy that makes us feel stupid about ourselves. That's why Jesus was killed. A haphazard political, hey, this guy is not in with our sentiment. But now, fast forward to the present, we have this whole edifice that follows Jesus' life, and nobody follows Jesus' life in any sort of meaningful way. Not that you should. You should be able to function as a complete functional moral adult by your own volition. But Pope Leo is criticizing Trump for this tweet about him being, well, first of all, for, again, killing a bunch of schoolgirls. That's probably not to, Jesus. What would Jesus do? Probably not that. But again, we have J.D. Vance and Donald Trump going against the Pope as who's more Christian. Interesting, because neither of them are. Right? And so you have J.D. Vance, who's an absolute cuck to Trump. That dude has he has no thoughts. He has no thoughts in his head. He just says whatever sentiment dictates him to say. And he's just excited that he has Secret Service around him, as is documented on Logan Paul's podcast. And so that's exciting stuff. But then Trump tweets out this picture. I guess this was like the biggest, most recent sentiment disruption to Trump's image, I guess, or reputation amongst his constituency. This picture of him as being Jesus. Which again, if you like, Jesus Christ would not get offended by someone putting a picture of him. It's just like actions speak louder than words. Nobody gets that. Treat your neighbor as you treat yourself. Nobody gets that. In action and practice for real. And again, nothing's moral, it's all efficient. If you want to make more money, do that shit. But it's just this picture of Trump as Jesus, and the whole world is, or the Catholic Christian world's all upset, and it's like absolutely none of you are good people. Like literally, I can show you hundreds and thousands, or not. I mean, like, I've never met a person capable of moral behavior as a direct scientific statement and scientific fact. And so, in addition, I also have that 2 airmen were rescued from the downed F-15 jet. That's how long ago these talking points were written down. But again, to rescuing our airmen, Trump was up there talking about, again, all of that, you know, nobody wanted to come at the same time because it was so wet. Oh my goodness, the mud, obviously. But it was just so wet and just saw that mud sucking through the mud. But again, no one left behind, liberty and justice for all. Governor DeWine on the TV. Yep, I served all Ohioans. What about Brad? Me. What about me? Well, that's right, I've lived my whole life and my life has never mattered to literally anybody. At a direct functional level, being a scapegoat is a thing. You abuse the fuck out of it, then you throw it to the side, and if it bothers you in any way, you kill it off and blame it for all of the actions that you forced onto it. Literally, exactly. Scapegoating is a well-defined progress of behavior. And so, those were our fun and exciting quotes from Donald Trump. The Pentagon invites 3,500 employees to a Protestant-only Good Friday Mass. I talked about that a little bit in the, in the economics one. But then the Catholic uproar is like, the Catholics don't celebrate Good Friday. And truly, like, the historical understanding of, like, Catholic versus Protestant versus Lutheran, it's just like, I mean, people make false differentiations all the time, and now we're like doing false differentiation to the point where it's not even like, if 1 + 1 = 3 every time, it's wrong, but you can follow it. If 1 + 1 = 4, then -17, then it's like, you're like, what the fuck is going on? And that's how, again, the understanding of historical figures have been. And so, but there's no distribution of communion, and Catholics do the Stations of the Cross. But again, I'm still wondering. I've met hundreds and hundreds of Catholics throughout my life. I've never met a single good person. I've never met a single good neighbor. I've never met a law-abiding citizen. We move on to Erica Kirk gets asked by her daughter if Drewski was her. Says the skit has gone too far. Says she's going to contact Trump, her daddy Trump. And then I just have after Tiger. Because again, obviously these talking points have aged a little bit, but Tiger Woods got off the phone after his car crash and was like, hey, yeah, just got off the phone with Trump, the president. And it's just like, yeah, dude, do you know who my dad knows? It's like, people are going to see in the future, again, law is this collective process. It takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community to have law enforcement. If you can hear the dog in the background, I still do not have an office. But what is, I just have, is this Drewski, Erica Kirk thing, is it defamation? Absolutely not. Anything that's presented in parody, I can't know, like that is not, just know that's completely fine. Impersonation, technically it is impersonation. He's dressing up as a specific person. But to use the term impersonation legally, it's like, are you going into a bank? Are you committing identity fraud? That's when impersonation would matter legally. Slander, no. Again, any sort of parody to me is all completely fine. But then what is defamation? I just have in general, because my reputation has been destroyed. I have been defamed of my character. And so it has to have, again, substantial, meaningful damages. The damages have to be direct to an action. Restriction of my constitutional rights, not validating me as a scientist, clear contractual owed money, clear not being able to have a career, one-to-one action of this action, this defamation caused this damage. So if someone just says, hey, you're a dickhead, hey, whatever, and there's no damages, to me there's no potential for defamation. And then on top of that, if there are damages, you have to overwhelmingly demonstrate that this action caused these damages. And so anything that's presented in parody where there's thought into it is just immediate. That's completely fine. But we had some great, again, Jake Paul's trying to find his 4 brain cells that he was born with. And so you can tell again, because currently it's the Republican Party, definitely. But groupthink pervades anything in terms of the good, the bad guys. Because I can't emphasize enough, I am not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I am a person that doesn't have constitutional rights trying to leave this country. But Jake Paul, again, you can see he gets offended. It's like he's trying to defend in the sentiment of the Republican Party or something, which is then really kind of like this value of the Constitution, which again, I keep emphasizing no one gives a fuck about, but conservative values of fiscal responsibility and not wearing blue hair and screaming really loud, which I also hate wearing blue hair and hearing people scream really loud. But it's just like, fuck, everybody is stupider than shit. But Jake Paul says he likes parody and he wants to respond with blackface on Theo Von's podcast. Since his talking point has been written down, we've seen some preliminary things. And you can still tell it's this tension. It's like Drewski's getting a little mad, Jake Paul's getting a little mad, and it's just like, who gives a shit, man? You guys are all rich as fuck. You guys gotta live lives. There's nothing to say legally about parody. Have at it. Elon Musk's security team was deputized to avoid training to carry firearms on federal property while heading Doge. So that's extremely illegal. Oh yeah, let's have the guy with, super special Elon with his extra chromosomes. He's extra trained on firearms, his security team. But should there be any exemptions just because, hey, this is the in team, bro, for firearms training, 0, nothing. Again, who knows? Maybe the guy that just got deputized was just Jill Biden's Secret Service agent, the one that shot himself in the leg or herself or whoever. It's not hard to not shoot yourself. And so there should be any sort of, specifically firearms, because that's just the lethality element of our society that's most relevant. There should be no skirting any sort of certification, demonstration of competency, so on and so forth. But I just have, that's a funny, because the Doge, right? Funny crypto reference for Elon. Dogecoin, Doge to the moon. I know that was 7 years ago at this point. And then you can't forget about the let that sink in, where it's he presents the punchline and you're like, oh, Elon, you brought a sink to the headquarters of Twitter. Ha ha ha, let it sink in that you bought Twitter. Yeah, dude, you don't, the punchline's supposed to kind of sneak up on you, bring it in ha ha. Oh, special Elon. As we talked about yesterday, the Joe Kernan, talking about Orban, he is out in Hungary after 16 years. Recently, I guess JD Vance had been over there to support him, but again, it's just like this false differentiation proliferating, where it's just like people are just getting offended, like whatever. Again, what is the centralizing morals of Donald Trump? Is it the Republican Party? Is it Christianity? Is it just whatever blows in the wind that day? It's whatever blows in the wind that day. And so we talked about that yesterday. Eric Swalwell resigns from California governor race after 4 sexual assault allegations and says he's taking responsibility for his actions. And I have quote unquote, Father of the Year. What a great example for your kids. But again, I truly, as a grown-ass man, as somebody who's grown up through puberty, just seeing any sort of like sexual dominance, like rape, sexual assault, to me, it's just immediately could be the death penalty, like truly. Just like specifically the male going to the female, the physical dominance of your anatomy. Certainly any sort of pedophilia, to me, it's just like, as a judge, it's just like, okay, do we kill this guy? Do we enact lethal capital punishment now, or like right now, or like what are we doing? For any, like, sexual assault is still one of these things where it's just like, if it could easily be the death penalty very quickly. But again, and just then without the legality of the severity of the death penalty, it's just seeing other quote unquote men like sexually. I mean, it's just such a level like, what the fuck? Like it's just not acceptable behavior whatsoever. And so I wouldn't call that taking responsibility for your actions. I would call that your actions catching up with you. If you have a panel of women saying, hey, he raped me, hey, he assaulted me, hey, he did this. And again, and to me, that sentiment of just completely unacceptable to the point where capital punishment is on the table. I mean, it's even to the intention of groping, right? Somebody walks past you and you slap their ass. It's just like, it's not an acceptable level. And it's such a low level of like maturity to not sexually assault other people. But again, what kind of fucking world are we living in where we have to say this shit out loud? Let me make sure I'm still rolling. So, continuing on, I have the Migos, the rapper trio, is attempting to become a single amigo. And so we had an altercation where Offset, I believe, he was shot outside of a Hollywood casino, or a Hollywood, Florida casino. 2 people were arrested, including a rapper named Little TJ. So Little TJ was arrested for disorderly conduct. The headlines all said Little TJ shot Offset. But Little TJ's lawyer comes out and says that didn't happen. Just something that popped up, and I thought it was a kind of, the Migos to Amigo was kind of a little thing. But nothing really more to say here. Again, just another famous person. Trap homie is not getting out the trap. You can take the trap homie out of the trap, but you can't take the trap out of the trap homie. Or something to that effect. Again, I say nigga a lot. Well, who am I kidding? Kimberly Clark employee films himself causing $200 million in damages committing arson. The person arrested was 29-year-old, I can't read my own handwriting, Chanil Abdul Karim. No people injuries were reported, and filmed himself saying, all you had to do was pay us enough to fucking live. Arson is arson. Again, I just don't, there's such a clear level of the world's not done enough for me, life's unfair, then I'm definitely going to go commit crimes. And it's just again, I am somebody who's literally been tortured my entire life, and it's just besides the direct necessity to survive, it's say the world's wronged me in some capacity and I'm gonna go take it, and it's just no. People need to mature. This is not maturity. $200 million of arson, profoundly disgusting. It's just but again, everybody is in this learned helplessness, this woe is me, this blah, 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 and it's just, oh my fucking high school really never ends, man. We have Melania Trump gives a statement saying she has nothing to do with Epstein. So if she comes out there, I actually have not heard her speak pretty much at all. Pretty sure she's Slovenian. But heavy accent for sure. And then the pushback or the counter sentiment is, you know, all of these pictures popping up with her and around Epstein. Can you have business affiliations where you have pictures with other people that you genuinely have no real affiliation with? Absolutely. Do I have any insight if they're genuinely covering something up, if they're genuinely not? Is Donald covering something up? Almost certainly. Is Melania? I have no idea. It's just, again, I'm not going to try to guess at things I have no insight on. I was more intrigued because I have not heard her speak very much at all. We had 3 people stabbed at the Grand Central Station and a suspect killed. Anthony Griffin, aka Lucifer, had a machete and was committing a random act of violence, and not a random act of kindness. And so, right, we like random acts of kindness, but running around the Grand Central Station giving a little stabby is probably not, again, that's not what Jesus would do. Jesus might flip over, he did flip over the tables at the taxation convention, but I don't think he went around stabbing people at Grand Central Station. And so that might actually be the talking points. Again, I kind of skipped a bunch or didn't write some down. I've been covering a good amount in the trading log, at least as it pertains to economics. But again, my rights continue to be violated. It is profoundly illegal. And it's just, like I said, one of these days my parents are going to be gone. Like one of these days I'll be dead. I mean, I've never lived a day of my life. That is what I have for talking points today. My rights continue to be violated. I continue to beg to stop being tortured. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.